Pick the Nintendo Shack and pray. Frederick from Fire Emblem Awakening says, yo.
Greetings, Koopalings! Welcome to this week's episode of the Nintendo Shack podcast. We had a Nintendo Direct this week. Garrett, are you excited to talk about this week's Direct?
I am, I guess, above moderate. It was, I'm very, not overly excited, but I'm happy to discuss a Direct that just came
I'm
out.
very interested in hearing what you have to say about this Direct.
Okay.
I'm excited to talk about it. But before we
Go.
do, what have you been playing this week? What have you been up to?
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, it's just another week. Actually, before I go into anything else, next week, and for another, actually 2 weeks for this show, because I leave Thursday, I am gonna take a trip. I am going
Ooh.
off overseas. I'm gonna go over to Europe, and I'm gonna have a conference there for work, but also gonna have an extended vacation. So that's
You
gonna be
deserve
very
it
nice.
after everything you have been working hard and, going through with, the move and graduation and the job and everything.
Yes.
You deserve a rest.
Yes, turbulence everywhere, like my lifestyle, like everything. I'm very happy to do this. Actually, I'm kind of getting away from like all the gaming stuff while I'm on this trip. I'm just gonna bring one handheld system. I'm debating between 3DS or Vita, one of those two. So,
What are the pros and cons of each?
Okay, so they're both modded, of course. It's very easy to do that.
Yes.
So the 3DS, I got like 50, well, both systems, I got 50 million JRPGs to go through. But 3DS has Majora's Mask.
Ooh,
that I need to go through.
I vote 3DS.
I should probably do 3DS, to be quite honest with you. Actually, recently, I jailbroke. I had to mod my Vita again because I accidentally updated it. And this, like I updated the system and it completely,
Oh no, you can't update. I learned that
everything.
when I was hacking my Switch, that you can't do the updates. Especially if like it's a brand new one and they haven't come up with like the latest firmware for
Right. So maybe
hacking software.
probably 3DS. I don't know. I'll still think about it. But yes, Europe for next week and then another 2 weeks. So literally three shacks. I won't be here. So
we will have the show will
ready.
go on. We have guests on. Stay tuned, and it might be a surprise each week. We'll see. I have some ideas in mind. But yeah, so you were going on the trip. What are you playing in the meantime?
I've been playing Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I wrapped up the second to last chapter, chapter 6. I'm on the last chapter now, chapter 7.
Ooh.
It's been going good. I don't want to say anything else other than like till the end of the game when I have more impressions about it. It's just great. It's gonna be one of my top games this year.
Nice.
Most likely. It could be game of the year.
I
We'll see how the other games. Yeah.
Interested in seeing where it ends up falling for you every year when we all get together and talk about our games of the year. Very interested what yours is going to be for number one.
Yeah. I think it has one of my favorite gaming moments of this year. Like, oh my gosh, that happened. That's like in my top 10 gaming moments. Like that's so good. You did that so well. So, but we'll see. I think for every RPG I play, there's always a pet peeve. And of course, there's going to be some pet peeves in here as well. So I'll probably explain it after I finish off the game. Okay. I think I want to do a lot more side stuff too. So this last chapter is going to take me a little bit. It's going to, I'm going to do the remaining hero quests. I'm going to max out ranks of all the classes that I wanted to before I end this game. So it'll be a little bit. But I've been playing Splatoon 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's been fun. It is definitely more Splatoon, as you mentioned.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like that's
I
not a
played
bad thing either. Like when I say
No.
that, like I don't know about you, I don't mean that as a bad thing. It's just like a thing about it.
Yeah, yeah. It's just totally like, hey, it's more Splatoon. It's more what you like. This is the next iteration of it. I find it really no different than like a Call of Duty game, to be quite
Yeah.
honest with you. It's like just that level of advance. It's like, hey, maybe there's some modifications, maybe an extra novelty here and there, but not much.
What are your thoughts on table turf mode?
I'm liking it. I actually didn't play since like Sunday or whatever, but of what I played of it, I want to play more of it. Like I want to figure out how deep it goes because right now I think it's pretty simple to learn how to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, if people don't know or haven't played Table Turf Battle yet, it's the card game that's in Splatoon 3. You get a series of cards, or you get a deck, and then of course, throughout the battle or whatever, you get a series of cards in your hand, and you kind of just fill out the map. It's a grid, and you start out in either post. Your opponent's on one side, and it's just a computer right now, and then yourself, and you're trying to splat like all like the most grids in that field. The way I've done it is like kind of just spread from the starting point all the way out as much as I can and then block it left and right. So it's like completely
Yeah.
blocking. So because once you block out a certain area, your opponent can't use that card or whatever to like cross through unless they have a certain ability or whatever.
Yes, because you
Mhm.
you can only place your cards touching your other squares.
Yes, adjacent to the same color. Yes, exactly.
Mhm.
And then you can't cover. Well, no, you can't cover the other person, right? That's oh no, you can
You
a little
only
bit.
can if you play a special.
Oh, you only play a special. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it's like completely like blocking off. There's not much strategy going behind it other than like, okay, let me build out as far as I can and then kind of block left and right. And then,
Mhm.
okay, now let me cover up the rest of the space that's,
Yeah.
in my
I will
area.
say it gets a little bit harder as you go through
Okay.
the opponents. I think I've gone through like maybe 10 or so of
Okay.
the opponents so far. They have level 1, 2, and 3 for each opponent. And I
Okay.
don't know if you've gotten to this yet, depending on how much you've played, but the map shape changes. So at first you're only given a
Yes.
square. Eventually you're given like it's kind of like a cross type of thing.
Mhm.
You're given
I got
like
a
a square
zigzag.
with like a smaller square. Yeah, you get like a
Mhm.
zigzag. So the shapes do
Mhm.
change, and that does kind of play into, well, how much of my territory can I defend, while branching out,
Mhm.
kind of thing. So it does add to it. I've been having a lot
Mhm.
of fun with that mode.
Yeah, for sure. And then also like there's some strategy at the end as well because you got to make sure you can't like put a certain like square block of your card if there's it has to be completely empty space. It has to be
You
adjacent to
can't
your
overlap
semi
even your.
Yeah, you can't overlap your own. And so you kind of just have to shape around the best you can and then at the end fill it out in your territory. It's good so far. I've been winning all the matches I've been through. I'm sure it gets harder. But yeah, it's I mean, it's a good starting point, I think. And I
Mhm.
want to see where it goes. I want to see what more cards I get. So yeah. Table turf battle, pretty good.
Good.
Yeah.
I was curious your thoughts on it.
Yeah, yeah. I need to play more of it for sure. I'm not like obsessed over it, but I think I would prefer playing that right now over like
Mm.
constantly playing the multiplayer stuff. I don't know. Like I can always go back to playing multiplayer. I actually was doing a pretty good job with just the original weapon and just going up to level 4. I'm like, I'm actually doing pretty decent with this. Like,
They give you a good default weapon in
yeah.
Splatoon 3. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I played a little bit of single player as well, just a little
Okay.
bit.
Yeah.
So I want to go through that too. It's a little fun. I like the little levels and like going through certain obstacles. It's not like, yeah, it's not groundbreaking or anything, but it's fun for
Did
sure.
you get to
Yeah.
Alterna yet?
What's the alternative? I
Did
been
you
I
did you
beat the
do a boss fight yet?
yes I did do a boss fight. Yeah,
Okay, and
that was
then
cool
then
actually.
you go to the next area and it's like
Yeah.
where the game takes place. Okay.
Yes, I just started that. Yeah.
Okay, that's where it gets good because they kind of trick you a little bit where the very beginning of the story mode is set up to make you think that it is just like the first two games
Oh,
where it's
okay.
like, oh no, someone stole the Zapfish again. We better go like find DJ Octavio and save the Zapfish. And it's like, oh my God, are they really going to make me do the same exact plot for a third time in a row? And then a boss happens and then a cutscene happens and then it's not like that at all. It's a different plot.
Yeah. It's like more of an open area, I guess. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So I've been playing that. Fiona's been playing a lot of it, a lot more of it
Me
than
and
me.
Fiona played together this week. It was very fun.
Yeah, like 2 separate occasions, and she is really into it. Let me tell
Hey,
you.
anytime she wants to play with me, I'm excited.
Yeah. So she'll always want to join with you, or you could join with her. She's like all about it too. Her favorite way to play is actually on a spinning chair, so you can use the gyro
Oh my
controls
God, that's brilliant.
with the Switch.
That's
She
so
said, "I
brilliant.
get so dizzy, but I get so good." I'm like, I
She's
bet
good
you
at
do.
it. Yeah. I like when
Yeah,
she's on my team. I don't like when she's on the other team.
She's pretty good
Yeah.
at the game. Yeah. So while she's been playing that, I've been playing Ghost of Tsushima on my PS5. And I'm sure you've heard of this game, right?
Yeah, of course I have. Yeah, it was like
Mhm.
up for Game of the Year, wasn't it?
Yeah, back in 2019. It's a PlayStation exclusive made by Sucker Punch, who also made the Infamous games. I really love the Infamous
Who
games.
also made Sly Cooper.
Oh, that game. Yeah, sure. One before. And, the little collectible one, the little raccoon burglar thing, right?
Yes.
Anyways, Ghost of Tsushima is a gorgeous
It's so
looking game.
beautiful.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
it's a good looking
It
game.
is so breathtaking. I want to get lost in it. Like every time I play it, I'm like, I think it's pulling me away from my Switch for the first time. And I want to play that so much.
I feel like that's a good one. I've heard good things about that one. Good story game too.
Anyways, that's pretty much it. How about you, Rebecca? What have you been up to?
The only thing I have to talk about is Splatoon. That's going to be like you and Xenoblade is like me and Splatoon. I'm going to be playing this week after week. That's probably all I'm going to talk about. However, unlike Xenoblade, there isn't really going to be anything new for me to talk about with Splatoon after a while. I 100%ed story mode because there's there's 2 ways to 100%. You get an item for completing if you complete all of the levels, like those kettles that you go into and all the levels, it unlocks a secret kettle, and it is a like really long, really difficult level, and it's a really long time between each checkpoint. Like it took me so many tries, and you have to like pay 300 coins every time you want to try it over again. So like you need to have a lot of not coins, but whatever the little power eggs are.
Yeah, whatever the things, yeah.
And oh my God, I did it on stream. It took me so long. It took me over an hour, I think, to beat the whole thing because like there are no checkpoints. So you had to like keep doing it over and over and over. And then like I would get to the first checkpoint and then I kept doing the second part over and over and over. But it was like, I feel like for the most part, all of the levels are pretty easy. Like I think I only failed a few of them, and like if I failed them, I got it on the next try. But this is like the challenge. Like if you want a really good challenge, do all the kettles and try this level, and then there is a reward for beating it. And so I got that, and then I like discovered all of the places on the map, and so I have like 100%. So that took up some of my time. Yeah.
Do you get cards? Like, how much more cards do you get out of the single player?
So you don't get any for doing the levels, but in each of the sites, like those islands that you're on, every once in a while, your little small fry buddy, he will like get really excited and be like, oh my God, there's something in the ground here. He'll like jump up and down and like look at the ground. And like if you splat at the ground, it digs up a reward. And so several of those rewards are the deck of cards.
Cool. That sounds
So
good.
that's definitely worth doing. And it's like, it's nice because like you can pretty much go around and do that without having to do all the levels.
Got it.
Yeah.
No, that's really nice. So it's just like searching around type of thing in a big area. Cool.
Yeah.
So what's so like hard about this final level? Like, is it just a lot of things happening to you? Is there a lot of obstacles? Like,
Yeah, I think the obstacles are a
Yeah.
little bit harder. Like you have to
Yeah.
make certain jumps that like you might not make the first time. There's like more
Interesting.
enemies that hit a little bit harder. And then like it's really just like the lack of checkpoints, because as you're playing through each of the normal levels, they're pretty generous with the checkpoints, so that like if you do fall or like if you do get splatted, like you're not going back pretty far before you have to try again.
Okay.
But this one, it's like a long time between the checkpoints.
Gotcha.
So if you die, like you
Gotcha.
gotta start from the very beginning.
Oof.
But it was fun.
That
It was
sounds
a good
like a Dark
challenge.
Souls game.
It was it's the Dark Souls of Splatoon. No, it was a
Oh
good
my
challenge.
gosh.
But then I don't ever have to touch single player ever again.
All right. Cool. And then you'll just be playing more Splatoon. Like,
Yes, I will be grinding it
your game.
out. Yes, I
Cool.
have so much yet that I want to do in this game.
Sounds good. I really do want to play the Octo expansion of Splatoon.
Yes,
2.
that is
So-
worth doing for sure.
So I might download that from the Nintendo Switch Online shop.
I highly recommend it. I think you'll have more fun doing that than this one.
Sounds good. Cool.
But let's jump into this week in Nintendo. We had a Nintendo Direct. Now, I feel like, I'll save my thoughts for the end. Let's start by going through everything. And then, like, as we talk about each thing, we can kind of chime in and, like, say what we thought about it. And then we'll give, like, an overall impression. Okay?
Sounds good.
So we're calling this Nintendo Direct Farm Sim Edition.
For sure.
They opened up with Fire Emblem Engage. This was the reveal of a brand new mainline Fire Emblem. I remember this was leaked a few months ago, right? Yeah. But we didn't really know much about it when it leaked. So in this new game, you can call past Fire Emblem heroes to join you in combat, like Marth, Cecilia?
No. You almost got it.
Celica.
Yeah.
Help me out.
Sigurd.
And
These are not Japanese names. These are not like very confusing names. These are like old, like Welsh English names or whatever. I don't know.
Celica?
Celica, yes.
Okay, I've never heard that one before. And there is a new protagonist named Crest Pepsi, and I would totally believe you, like, if I didn't know otherwise.
There you go.
Wait, do we know his name?
No, we don't. No.
Oh,
I think
okay.
Wait, maybe we do. I just didn't even check because everyone's calling this thing like Pepsi,
Crest Pepsi. Yeah.
Or Crest.
Yeah, he's
Pepsi,
got the red and blue.
Pretty much.
Red and blue hair
mixture. Yeah, and eyes too. They got that. Oh gosh.
Oh yeah, so yeah. This game is a collaboration with Gust and Koei Tecmo. I've never heard of Gust.
They are the studio that is making the Atelier series, like all of it, and then other games too on the side.
Okay.
But yeah, keep on going.
Okay. So the animations look so much better. It does look very beautiful, I will say. It is releasing early next year on January 20th, 2023. They also announced a special edition called Fire Emblem Divine Edition that comes with like a steelbook and some other goodies, I think. Yeah. Adam writes in and wants to know, what are your thoughts on how Fire Emblem Engage differs from Three Houses? It looks like they are mixing elements of a lot of the previous games. He says he likes this because Three Houses didn't quite hold his interest like the 3DS games did. Now, I know nothing. I don't know how this compares, how it looks. So, Garrett, you let us know.
Sure. Okay, so first off, yes, I think... Well, I'm not sure about the mechanics from a lot of previous games, but the novelty behind this game that's coming out is calling upon previous heroes throughout all of the Fire Emblem games in the past. You see that with Marth kind of like being the major showcase in this trailer. And it looks pretty good. And you kind of just like go through this kind of the typical Fire Emblem storyline. I'm not sure they have that day-night cycle like they had, or that day cycle that they had in Fire Emblem Three Houses. I hope they don't have that, actually,
Was that
because
not a
that's
good
actually,
feature?
it was fine. It just didn't serve too much for me. Like, I think it was just there to be there to structure the story more than anything else. This looks more classic, like, hey, let's go to battle. Let's do a story, like a chapter or whatever, like chapter 2 or chapter 3. I like that a lot more. Second thing, yes. So this intelligent systems developed, right? Collaborated with Gust in Koei Tecmo. Now, I think the reason why they did this is because the animations, and there's a lot of differing opinions with the kind of the character design choices in this game. You can tell that it's a lot more anime, like more Japanese anime characters. They have bigger eyes. They kind of look more floaty in terms of design compared to Fire Emblem Three Houses. Has more of a chiseled, like rigid look to them. And some Fire Emblem people are like, I hate this new character design. I personally like
Really?
it more.
I like
Yeah,
it. And like
people
I know
don't.
people are making
Yeah.
fun of Pepsi Crest, but like I kind of think he looks cool and it's like inspired and it's like not just like another
Mhm.
like blue-haired protagonist again.
Right? Like it looks different to me. I think it's just there's just so many memes out there just making fun of the
I know.
protagonist.
Well, yeah, the
I
memes
think
are
it's
the best
hilarious.
part.
But the animations, I think, objectively look so much better
It looks
in
crisp.
this one. It looks very crisp, very smooth, and that's what Gus does fantastically with their games too. They know how to make animations. They specifically know how to make battle animations pretty well. So I think Gus is really helping out in that department more than anything. They don't do tactical role playing games as much, so they're definitely not on the
Well, that's
design
good.
part, more on the art side and the animation side. So it's great to see Intelligent Systems kind of opening up their developments. Like, hey, we need to
Good.
work on this. Gus knows how to do this, so
I
let's
wish that more
collaborate with them on
studios
this.
would be humble enough to do that. Not humble, maybe that's not the right word, but like not so like, oh, what we do is the right way and like,
Yeah.
we don't have to fix anything. There's nothing to do better here.
Right. So yeah, I'm really excited for this one. I think I'm more excited about this one than Three Houses. Three Houses was good. I just always hesitated with it, and then when I went through the game, I really enjoyed it. But there's just still some things that I like in Awakening and Fates a lot more than in Three Houses. So let's see
Yeah, I
what
get
this
that.
new game brings. Yeah. I want the
Day
Divine
one for
Edition.
you?
It looks so good. Day one, yes, absolutely. Day one, Fire Emblem. Totally gonna get this. Totally gonna play through it. Day one.
Heck yeah.
Um,
I
other
wish it
than
was coming
that,
out 1 month earlier for my fantasy critic.
I
Ah,
know. I know. How does it differ from Three Houses? I think I agree with you, Adam. It's just gonna be I hope it's just a classic Fire Emblem storyline. You're not gonna have these branching paths or whatever. They're trying to mix it up with the student teacher system or whatever. It's gonna be a Fire Emblem game that's gonna have a just one story, beginning to end. I'm really looking forward to that. I also like I think someone pointed this out. The villain, the main evil guy or whatever, he also has a ring that can also summon past people too. So I'm thinking we're gonna be facing past villains as well
that would
throughout the
make
game.
sense. I feel like if they're bringing back
Mhm.
past protagonists, that they would go all the way.
Oh my goodness, Frisk. So you just heard Frisk probably like stumbled off the desk over there. Rebecca's cat. Oh
I
no.
can't hear you.
Oh no. We can
Just
hear
hold on,
you.
I
So
can't hear you.
yeah, no, it's okay. All
Oh
right.
my god, what did you just do?
Oh no.
Hold on, I don't even know what got unplugged. Are
All right,
you?
you
Where did
you
you
go down
go?
there. Anyways, yes.
I don't have sound, and I don't know why.
Oh no.
Hold on.
Hello.
Oh, there you are. Okay.
Cool.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I just hear
fell behind the fell. He didn't jump. He
literally-
fell.
he fell. Of course he did.
Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry.
Fire Emblem. It's happening. I can't wait.
It's happening.
Yes. That's it.
Cool. It Takes Two was announced. This was leaked ahead of time by our man, Reb. You can play on a single system, local play, or online with what they call the Friends Pass. Now, I kind of missed it. Did they say that means that the friend does not need to own the game?
That's correct.
Cool.
Yeah, so it's like a free, like if someone else owns the game, another person, a friend or whatever, can get the Friends Pass, and then so they'll can be together and play the game. And this is the same thing in like PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. It's not like specific to Switch. It's like everywhere too for It Takes Two.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say because it kind of reminds me of what was it called on the DS, like Download Play or something like that,
Yeah.
where it had to be local. It couldn't be online, but okay. I didn't know that other systems were doing this too.
Yeah, I think this studio does that specifically with their games. They always do like a co-op experience game. And then so every time that they put this out, they're like, hey, one person needs a copy, the other friend doesn't, and you guys can play together.
I like that. I think that's really nice. Yeah, it comes
it's
out
great.
November 4th.
It's a great video game. I played through it with a friend. It is so good.
This was also up for Game of the Year last year, which is very unusual. Isn't this an indie studio?
It is. I wouldn't say this is an indie.
No.
Well, I guess it is an indie studio, but they collaborate a lot with EA. It's published by EA Originals or whatever. It's like
Haze
an EA
Light
original studio. Haze Light Studios. That's correct. That's guy with the crazy. I forgot. He's Italian or Greek or whatever.
Yeah.
He's a very enthusiastic guy. He's so cool, and he's the one that was like FU Emmys or whatever with Jeff Keighley.
Oh, it did win Game of the Year. Remember it won, and everybody was like so surprised.
Oh, guy. Oh,
I definitely forgot that.
Totally didn't. Well, it's a great game. I wouldn't say it's Game of the Year, but great game. Go check it out on Switch if you have not played it or don't have access to the other versions. I don't know. It just kind of looks. It does look chuggy on this one. A little choppy, a little polygon here, left and right, compared to the console versions. But go ahead, play it on Switch.
Okay, comes out November 4th.
Yes.
They announced Fatal Frame: Mask of the Lunar Eclipse, releasing early next year. This, I believe they said, it's an old Fatal Frame game that was a Japanese exclusive. Now it's being remade. Is it remade or just localized?
It is
remastered.
Yeah, it's like, ported up.
Yeah.
Has the textures. It's on Switch, so probably optimized for those controls. I know a lot of Fatal Frame fans out there are very excited. Joe after work, he's a big Fatal Frame fan, and Donnie.
You're being corrected in chat, by the way. He's not Italian, he's Lebanese.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, that should be corrected. Yes. He's from not the US. He is from another country of origin, and it's Lebanese. So
Lebanese.
There you go.
I like it. I don't even know who you're talking about. The Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Wave 2 of the expansion pass is coming out on October 13th. The new hero, Ino?
I think it's just called Ino, yeah.
And they're adding challenge battles.
Yeah, just very brief. Just over. Here's just another wave of extra content.
Is this something that you knew was coming?
Well, these kind of things, so with the whatever season pass it is, there's like 3 waves of content, and then I think there's going to be the major one, kind of similar to Xenoblade Chronicles 2, the Torna Golden Country, the big standalone game. That'll come out later. That's what we're most interested in. This is kind of like, oh yeah, here's an extra hero to put in your roster.
Makes sense.
I think I will actually do this if I get the season pass at the end. Like if I beat the game, get the season pass, I will probably grab this hero, see what This hero does. So looks pretty neat.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
They did a few reels of games. I think this was kind of the biggest chunk here. SpongeBob SquarePants, The Cosmic Shake is coming next year. Fitness Boxing, Fist of the North Star, coming March next year.
It was very weird.
You third fitness boxing game, like in that series of fitness boxing?
So Fist of the North Star is like a well-renowned Japanese, like one of those Yakuza 3D fighting games.
Oh.
It's very comical, like more on the comical side than anything. Very wacky and cartoony. This is like, here's the fitness boxing version of that game, and it just looks like, looks very weird. So sure,
okay, I like
sounds good.
Oddballers, which is a party game, is coming early next year. Tunic was finally announced for the Switch, coming September 22nd, which I believe is the same day as the PlayStation.
I would assume so. I don't know.
I know
I
it's
have it
coming
downloaded on my
September
Xbox.
something.
Got it.
Front Mission remakes. You seem excited about this one. First one is coming in November. The second one is coming in early 2023. And then a Front Mission 3 remake is coming in the future.
Yeah, so these are very well-renowned, very like old tactical RPG games. Originally came out on the Super Famicom. I'm definitely excited to see to get these games. Cool. I wonder what the price is too, because they didn't say. I hope it's like a $20 deal in each of these games. I hope, but we'll see.
Who makes it?
Actually, I didn't recognize the studio at all. It looks like another offbeat studio. It's like, hey, we have this IP, let's go remake it. And I was like, okay, sounds good.
Story of Seasons: A Wonderful Life is coming summer 2023. Garrett, this is what really set the direct ahead for me.
Okay.
It's so, for anyone who doesn't know, Story of Seasons is the same series as Harvest Moon. They had to change the name. What is now Harvest Moon is not Harvest Moon that you know and love.
Don't even pay attention to that.
Do not pay attention to that. It's Story of Seasons is the real Harvest Moon. Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life meant so much to me growing up. I played the heck out of that game on the GameCube. It was amazing. It was so much fun. I know a lot of people are talking about how many farm sims were in this direct, which I don't even think there were that many. I think that's grossly overstated. This is the one to be paying attention to. This is one of the games that, we all love the Stardew Valley type that, Concerned Ape of Stardew Valley looked at when he was making his game. It was so good. I'm so excited. It looks beautiful. It looks gorgeous. You can play as a girl. I can finally play as a girl. Yay. Yeah.
I think it's like,
I cannot wait to relive this game.
You can have like with another woman as well, like a gay
marriage. You can do same-sex marriages. So the way that Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life did it was you were always a boy, and then you had 3 bachelorettes you could choose from. And then I think like a year or 2 later, they released what was basically the same exact game, but you could play as a girl character. And then there were 3 bachelors to choose from. And I only had the first one, A Wonderful Life, not the second one was called Another Wonderful Life, but it was the same game. So like you had to buy a second version if you wanted, to be a different gender. But they're putting both options in one game here. And yes, you can do same-sex marriages. And so when I played as a boy, I would always marry Celia, who was amazing, perfect, beautiful, so down to earth.
Of course.
Such a lovely character. And so I'm going to get to play as a girl, and I get to marry her again because they do the same-sex marriages. I'm so excited.
Nice.
So excited.
I found it. So is this a remaster or is this a brand new game? A brand new Story of Seasons game?
It's not a brand new game. It is a remake of A Wonderful Life for the GameCube.
Oh, awesome. Sounds good. Cool.
Yeah, and it looks gorgeous.
This is Farm Sim game number 1, by the way.
Yes, Harvest Moon. They are the OGs. The OGs.
No, I'm just saying this is the first Farm Sim game that we've that they announced in this direct. This is like the first one.
You're counting them. This is the okay. I like it.
I'm counting them. Yes.
Okay. So we talked about all these games. This is the first one. Okay.
Yeah.
They announced the next Splatfest for Splatoon 3 as the first official one of the game since its launch. They are letting us choose between what would you take, what would you choose to take to a deserted island? Gear, grub, or fun? Gear, grub, or fun? If you choose which one, takes place next weekend, so the 23rd through 25th, extended weekend there. Garrett, what team are you choosing? There's a right answer.
I'm out. Well, I'm going to Europe, so I
it doesn't matter. You still have to pick a team.
It's Team Grub. Like, I have to go Team Grub here. I think a lot of us are joining Team Grub because of we just know that one guy. I'm sure that it's not going to be like the whole populace of Splatoon going to go to that team. I think it makes sense to go to Team Gear. I think Gear is like the most logical answer.
If you were actually going on a deserted island, it is the smartest decision to take Gear because you will be able to get grub if you have gear, if you have, tools that you can use to fish. You need shelter. You're not going to survive the night with grub. You're going to survive the night with gear.
Here's the thing. When you say deserted island, what does deserted mean? Like no humans? Or like nothing, like no life at all.
I don't know. You're Tom Hanks in Castaway.
Okay, so there's food around. You can scavenge. You can harvest things.
Yeah,
right?
Why not? Deserted island, sure.
Okay, gear.
Yeah, gear.
But I would pick Team Grub.
Can make your own fun. You can like throw a coconut back and forth to each other. That's fun. I don't know. You could
throw a coconut back and forth. That's how you can have fun. Let's throw a freaking coconut back and forth. Let's play catch.
I don't know. I'm the kind of person where like I don't get bored. Like I can make fun out of anything.
That's some good stuff.
I don't need to bring. They use a little deck of cards.
You don't need to bring a Switch or whatever.
You won't have like internet, and it will die. It will die immediately.
That's true.
And then
it will die like.
And then you will die.
Define gear. What gear would you bring?
So I grew up watching a lot of the TV show Survivor, and the first 2 reward challenges, the teams win flint to make fire.
Yeah.
And the second thing that they win is fishing gear.
Okay. Yeah, to get some fish.
I'll also take a machete. So give me flint, give me a machete, and give me something to fish with.
I would definitely be scared if you had a machete in hand, like ready.
What? Well, good. You should be scared of Team Gear because we're gonna get machetes and we're gonna slash the competition. Anyway,
well, you could do that in Splatoon. So there you go.
They announced Octopath Traveler 2, which, for anyone who keeps a close eye on things, this was leaked about an hour before the presentation.
Oh wow. Yeah. I was asleep, so I didn't know.
There are 8 new travelers. Their path actions differ day and night. This is coming out February 24th, 2023. Any interest in Octopath Traveler 2, Garrett?
I mean, I'm definitely interested. I like the first one. There's some faults in it that made me not finish the game. I hope to go back and finish it. But I'm surprised that this is announced and almost out, like early next year. Yeah. Octopath Traveler is one of those games on the Switch where they were kind of like being all mysterious and nebulous about it. It's like, oh, a Project Octopath Traveler, a new RPG from Square Enix exclusive to the Switch. Like they've, been talking about this. And then they made some more games. They made Triangle Strategy, which is, I think it's excellent. I'm just so surprised. Well, they may be different internal studios. Maybe they're helping each other out. I'm not sure. I'm just so surprised they were so eager to make a sequel off of Octopath Traveler. That's just my feeling about it when I saw the trailer. Okay, 8 new travelers again. Maybe they want to give it another go around, see if they can intertwine these storylines a little bit better and make conversations a little bit better. Great art style. It's just there's definitely some it's not so exciting sides of it for the first game. So we'll see how it goes. I'm definitely interested how it reviews and how it goes.
I am too, because I know that this game was hyped up a lot, and then I don't think there were bad reviews. I think it was like very middle of the road, like not the best ever, but could be better. I don't know. This was a game I considered buying and then didn't. I still might someday. So yeah, that is interesting.
I mean, it's a little too long in the tooth for you. I think it's a long RPG. You already had your fill with Live Alive.
I think so. I think that's probably the better one.
Yeah, and it's also interesting. Octopath Traveler came to Game Pass. I think it's still in Game Pass or something. So it's on Xbox.
Okay.
Octopath Traveler, and not on PlayStation, by the way. The first one is not on PlayStation. Octopath Traveler 2 is on PlayStation. Like,
interesting.
Multi-release Switch, PlayStation, and PC, not Xbox.
I saw PC. Yeah. Oh, that's weird.
Very weird. I don't know what Square Enix is doing. Maybe they just had a deal with Xbox with Game Pass and they tried it out. So I don't know. I think Octopath Traveler is like their little pet project going on. See if they can make it better this time around.
I think that's the first instance of a game I can think of where the first game is on one platform but not the other, and the second game is on the opposite platform but not the original.
These Japanese studios like to do. I think one thing is maybe Microsoft went to them and be like, "Hey, this is the deal with Game Pass we can do for you right now," and they're like, "Okay, we'll port this game over and just do that deal." And I think that's why Dragon Quest and Octopath Traveler is on Game Pass and Xbox subsequently. Okay. Yarden says they should have spent the time remaking Final Fantasy VI instead of Octopath 2. I kind of
yeah.
They should be trying remaking these older titles, like these 2D RPGs that are fantastic, into this 3D art style. I know people. It wasn't that Octopath Traveler was a bad game. It just wasn't a great game. It wasn't a Final Fantasy VI. It wasn't a Square Enix RPG.
Maybe they're trying to maybe they're trying to learn from the first game.
I think so too. I think it's just a studio's like, okay, let's have another go at it. Let's see if we can fix some of the issues that we had last time. I'm sure it'll have. I feel like this is like the requirement in Square Enix now. It will have a demo. You will try it out and get some feedback. So cool.
Our second farm sim of the evening, Fae Farm, is a Switch exclusive coming spring next year.
Yeah. Theater rhythm. That's it. It's just theater rhythm, but they just merged it to one word.
They forgot rhythm. Some letters.
They did. They wanted to merge theater and rhythm together.
Theatrism.
Yes.
Final bar line has literally all Square Enix songs. All Square Enix songs, not all the Square Enix songs.
Oh, sorry. I was kind of just like typing on the fly in the notes.
What is it? Mean?
Well, no, it's just like all the Square Enix like kind of related properties or whatever. They're gonna like put it into this game.
Is Life is Strange music gonna be in it?
No. Like Square Enix like developed, not like Life is Strange is published, not developed by Square Enix. So what I mean, like Live Alive.
Live Alive's gonna be in it
as DLC later on. Yes, Live Alive music is gonna be in it. So have you heard of Theater Rhythm?
Not at all.
Okay, so the first two games, don't worry, Ryan Turford also lectured me on this, so he's the Theater Rhythm fan. But it originally came out. I
never knew this existed.
Yeah, it came out on 3DS. It is one of those like rhythm beat games where you like, it's like Guitar Hero or like Persona dancing games where you like press buttons on like a certain bar line as it goes along. And based off of that, there's like combat in between the enemies and your allies. And so as long as you like hit the beat with all the various buttons, you're going to like attack the enemy and then go through the song. And so in 3DS, it has all the Final Fantasy games. Like in their related songs in that game, all like the characters or whatever. It's like a cross.
Is it gonna have Chrono Trigger?
Yeah. I think it will have Chrono Trigger in it. Like it'll have like a lot of Square Enix songs in there.
385 songs, comes out February 16th with paid DLC. How much does this game cost?
So I think it's 50 for the base game, and they're gonna come out with like a season pass or whatever later on.
Is it fun?
But I love, like, if you love rhythm games, sure. Like, what kind of rhythm games have you played? Have you played like Guitar Hero?
Dance Dance Revolution.
Yeah. It's like kind of like
Guitar Hero.
Yeah. So instead of just like strings and like stomping around, it's literally just buttons, like on your controller, and it's just like going along the across the bar line in front of your screen, and then you'll have their little Final Fantasy characters like attacking the enemy.
Is
or
it like
whatever. It's
Parappa
cute.
the Rapper?
Yeah, it's very similar to Parappa the Rapper. Yeah.
I'll get it. I'm gonna update my chart that I posted on Twitter.
It was very fun on 3DS, by the way. Very, very fun.
Wow, you just sold me on a game, Garrett.
There you go.
They showed part of the trailer that we saw during the Ubisoft Forward presentation for Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope. They showed the Gold Edition that includes the base game and the Season Pass, which includes the Rayman DLC. I love Rayman.
Yay.
This game comes out on October 20th. I wish that they would make another Rayman game, but at least he lives on in the world of Mario.
Yes. This is my most anticipated game for the rest of the year. I cannot wait for this game.
Cool,
it looks so good.
It does look good. Rune Factory 3 Special is our farmish sim number 3. Oh, does this I guess this counts as a farm sim.
Kind of.
Yeah. Comes out next year. Every time they say Rune Factory, there's so many of these games. I don't know.
Why are they putting this one out on Switch?
I don't know. I
saw this. I'm like, why? You have 4 special and you have 5 on Switch. Why do you need 3? Anyways, yeah, good.
They also announced bigger news that maybe it's just to announce this, that a new Rune Factory series will launch in the future.
That was weird too.
They take so long though. We're gonna hear about this for the next 6 years before it comes out.
Yeah, so good for them. Good for everyone that's into Rune Factory. I have it on 3DS somewhere. I've never played it though, so good for you guys.
They announced updates coming to Nintendo 64 Online. All of these games will be in a drip feed, by the way, about once a month or so. Pilot Wing 64, Mario Party 1, Mario Party 2. Those are all coming in 2022, so probably October, November, December. Then coming next year is Mario Party 3, Pokemon Stadium 1, Pokemon Stadium 2, 1080 snowboarding, Excitebike 64, and they knew the one to put the cherry on top, GoldenEye 64 with online play. I think that was the big one that got people excited. That was the one that we didn't know if it could, if it would, if it should, and it is.
Yay. This is when I saw like coming out the next 2 years, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
I thought they were gonna be like coming out on Friday.
Or at least those games for the rest of the year. Like that would be kind of cool. It's like, hey, it's a little acceleration of N64 games. What this tells me, you're not gonna have Game Boy. You're not gonna have GBA online. It's not gonna happen. This put the nail down the coffin. No joke.
I almost wish, like, if they're gonna do it this way, fine. I almost wish they didn't tell us the titles to expecting, because then every next one at least like would have been a surprise, and it would have been like, what are we getting next? But like now it's like, I really want to play 1080 snowboarding, but just because that's the one that I want to play the most, that one's not going to come out till April next year.
Yeah. No, these will at least go until mid next year, right? Like,
yeah, because Pilot Wings, Mario Party 1, that'll take us to 23. January, February, March, April, May. Yeah, we have until June. And then that's E3, and then something else happens. Wow, they are so strategic in like the most obvious way.
Feed another set of N64 games after this. I could just see it right now.
What else do we have that's not there?
Super Smash Brothers is a big one I'm still thinking about.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm not too sure. To be quite honest with you. Banjo-Tooie, sure.
Diddy Kong
That's another
Racing.
one. Diddy Kong Racing, come on.
Donkey Kong 64.
I don't know if they would like to put that on there. I think they're slightly embarrassed about that one.
Yeah, well, do you see the stuff that they're piling into
That's
SNES and Genesis and
anyways, I'm excited about Mario Party 3, Pokemon Stadium 2. Those are the
Pokemon
two.
Stadium 1. I'll play Pokemon Stadium 2 if you play Pokemon Stadium 1.
Sounds good. I love the mini games.
The mini games. Oh yeah, we're only talking about the mini games. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. The pincer and everything. I love it. I know a lot of people are excited about GoldenEye 64. I know a lot of people are excited for the online play. That's exclusive to Switch. There you go. Something exclusive to Switch. That's interesting. So
isn't everyone else getting a remaster?
Yeah, they're gonna get this 4K. Well, the Xbox One is like 4K upgraded or whatever. You know, it's the reason why they can't do online play. It's just the way how the game is made. Whereas on Switch, it's tricking the game like it's like the online play is local play. That's why it's able to do on Switch.
Oh.
That's why we're able to get online play in Nintendo Switch Online, because it's fooling the emulated games as its local play. That's why.
Oh.
There's no way for a separate SKU, let's say on Xbox, to have actual online play because they didn't make that part. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. So that's how that happened.
Okay. They showed another reel of games. This will not be our last reel of games, by the way.
Oh my gosh.
By the talented at naming game studio Square Enix. Various Day Life came out.
It came out that day. An RPG.
I just want to say they are getting more and more generic. So we started with Octopath Traveler. Okay, that's a little weird, sure, but I guess it makes sense, right? There's 8 players taking paths, they're traveling, sure, fine. Then we get Triangle Strategy, which is okay. You're making a strategy out of like, I'm guessing like 3 elements or something. I don't know. It's a strategy. I don't know.
It's the 3 clans. There's
the 3 clans, sure,
3
and
nations.
It's a strategy game.
It's a strategy game, yeah.
Now we're getting an RPG called Various Day Life. And they're all in the same generic font, Garrett.
Yeah, the font.
The next game is going to be called, like, Video Game.
Japanese video game.
It's going to be called, like, Exciting RPG.
I honestly couldn't believe that they shadow dropped this. They have 30 RPGs coming out in this fall. They just had to put another one in there. They are various for sure, but this is a Day Life RPG, so it has to be Various Day Life.
The rest of them aren't Day Life. Okay, This is the one.
This was I saw this on the store. I was interested in the price. The price is very weird too. $29 USD. That's the price of the game. I don't know why. This is such
not $29.99.
No, it's $28.99. Yeah. No, they do this with a lot of actually older Final Fantasy games too. Like Final Fantasy 9, sometimes it's like $12.49 USD. I'm like, what are you doing with your price? But anyways, yes, it's not like $40 or $50. It's like $28 or $29. It looks very small, very generic 2D side-scrolling role-playing game.
It's various.
It's another Various RPG. Let me tell you.
Isn't there somebody who's sitting at that table that says, "Guys, this sucks. This is a horrible name. We can do better."
I think in Japanese, like the naming convention, maybe it's clever, maybe it's pretty good in Japan, but when they translate it to English, that's what happens most of the time.
Okay, well, don't do a literal translation. Sometimes a literal translation is not best.
I don't know what they're doing. But anyways, Various Day Life. Shadow dropped. It's on Switch. Go get it. Another RPG.
Factorio is coming out October 28th.
I have this game on Steam. I played it with my friends like years ago. It's a very well-renowned Steam game. So I don't think it will translate that well on Switch. I think it's better with the mouse and keyboard, but you're basically like grabbing various resources throughout the map and creating like a huge assembly line, like a factory line of materials to like gather up your like build your base to defend off like aliens and monsters on the outside.
Is it like a tower defense type game?
It's kind of like a tower defense game, except it's not like a line with towers. It's more like, here's a base, you're a person, grab all the resources you can and connect them and make an assembly line to get all your materials automated to build up your stuff. It's actually it's very intricate. It's a very deep game. It's very good with friends too. I recommend playing it. Honestly, I recommend playing it with, like, if you're on Switch, another person that knows Factorio, or just with other friends, because it's just better with friends, I think.
Cool. I like it.
Factorio is a cool game.
IB or IB, I don't know how to say it. It's a 2D exploration, exploring. It's like a horror type game. This looked a lot like it was giving me Undertale vibes, like kind of dark, creepy, weird, bizarre, top-down, Earthbound-ish type. It's coming out spring next year. I definitely want to get this game. It looks really intriguing. It definitely looks like a Rebecca type game.
It looks cool. I was like, when I was going through it again, I'm like, I'm intrigued about that game.
Yeah, I didn't see anyone talking about this one, and this one caught my attention. Probably the third most thing that was announced.
Looks cool.
Mario Strikers Battle League, it's getting its second free update, adding Pauline and Diddy Kong, as well as some more gear.
Yeah, more stuff.
It's coming out this month. My girl Pauline.
Cool.
Atelier Ryza 3, Alchemist of the End and the Secret Key was announced, coming out February 24th.
There's so many games coming out February 24th out of this direct.
There were a couple.
Yeah, there were.
Octopath. Yeah. It's coming out the same day as Octopath.
Interesting. I mean, I don't even have 2 yet, so it's gonna be a while till I get 3. I need to finish 1. I really enjoyed Atelier Ryza though, like the first one. So I just need to wrap that up, and then go on to 2.
I know Donnie can't wait for this one.
Donnie is like, this is like his most hyped game out of direct. Like, he is so excited. He actually personally messaged me after the direct and was like, Garrett, did you see Atelier Ryza 3? I said,
he had a couple really like enthusiastic tweets about it after they announced it.
Yeah. Atelier and everything, those thighs, go for it, Donnie. But all jokes aside, looks good. It looks like another Atelier game. This is what they do all the time. They do a trilogy of games and they go off to the next series. So I'm not surprised this game was announced and releasing early next year. Like, this is expected from Gus, so can't wait.
They announced Wave 3 of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Pass, whatever. It's coming this holiday. They only showed 2 of the tracks, though. I was like waiting for them to go and show some more, but they only showed 2. They showed Merry Mountain from Mario Kart Tour and Peach Gardens from Mario Kart DS.
Fun.
I'm excited.
Sounds good.
I'll get back into it once that drops.
Me too.
They talked about the update coming to Nintendo Switch Sports, where they are adding golf to the game. Unfortunately, they need a little bit more time. It was supposed to come this fall. It is now coming holiday.
We'll see when that is.
I felt my heart break for Donnie with that one.
I'm not sure if he's too excited about this golf stuff. I think he was like, he's intrigued by it, but not like, I'm ecstatic for this update. We'll see how it goes. He can talk to us in the chat.
Okay. I think it's kind of weird that they're delaying this.
It's so weird.
Yeah. Okay.
Whatever.
And that brings us to my favorite part of the direct.
I'm sure it is.
Miyamoto got on screen. He reminded us the Super Mario movie exists. It's coming next year. Oh, and by the way, Super Nintendo World in Hollywood is also going to exist. And he's like, and now I want to talk a little bit about Pikmin. That's when everyone was like, oh my god, it's happening! He proceeded to talk about Pikmin Bloom, the mobile game that's been out for months and months, for, I don't know, 2-3 minutes. Way longer. Not even talking about any updates coming to the game, just like going on and on and on about Pikmin Bloom and what you do in it. I was laughing so freaking hard, Garrett. I was like, this man knows what he's doing. And the longer it went on, I was like, if he doesn't say the words Pikmin 4 after this, people are going to go burn down Nintendo headquarters.
I just couldn't. What
were you thinking when he was going on and on and on?
I was like, wait, are you actually advertising a mobile game that came out months ago that no one is talking about?
They will burn the master copy. Good reference in chat trolls.
Yes.
Fortunately for the sanity of Pikmin fans everywhere, he did say, oh, and by the way, Pikmin 4 is coming out. It's coming next year. It exists. Here is a 10-second.
Here's a picture.
Vague.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was picture. It's like, you'll look it from this angle.
It was animated. We saw some stuff going on in the art. It did look beautiful. But what a weird segment of the direct. And then he was like, okay, it's coming out. It exists. It's coming out next year. And that was it.
It was so weird seeing him.
Oh, the shirt. Like, okay. I'm sorry. The shirt. He was like, I got a pea on my shirt. And it's like the Pikmin pea with a flower.
Look, I designed this myself. I like it. When I saw him, it was either one or two things. It was either like, okay, he's gonna talk something about super important, like that we're gonna love so much, or the opposite of like we just don't want anything to do with it. And you
remember the last time he came on screen on a Nintendo Direct, we saw the cast of the Mario movie.
That's true.
So yeah, I thought we were going to get... And then once he started talking about the Mario movie, I'm like, oh, we're going to get a trailer. But nope.
No, actually, that would have been cool. Honestly, I'm interested in that movie. But yeah, he proceeded to do various things. And when he went to the mobile game, I'm like, Miyamoto, were you told to do this? Or do you genuinely like this game?
He's a troll because... And I think...
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people know this by now, but for anybody who doesn't know, maybe about 6 or 7 years ago, in the height of the Wii U era, Miyamoto famously told a news outlet, oh yes, Pikmin 4 is close to completion.
Oh no.
Do you remember this, Garrett? Yeah. And so people are like, yeah, Pikmin 4, it's close to completion. And then like, nothing. Gosh. A year went by. 2 years went by. People are like, hey, like, that's weird. If something's close to completion, it doesn't take 2 years to put. Like 3 years went by, 4 years went by, and then people are like, oh my gosh, like maybe it was a Wii U game and they need to switch it to the Switch. You know, they just have to like reconfigure some things. They announced Pikmin 3 Deluxe.
They did.
So I think he knew what he was doing and trolling us very hard.
I think this shows how well prepared Nintendo is with their games. I think that was a slip up from Miyamoto way back when, because I think that's true. I think they were almost done with Pikmin 4, whatever that timeline was, and maybe they had an initial date for it, but of course they circled around until now, maybe porting over to Switch or whatever. It just shows you how well off these studios are like with their games. So it's seeing Pikmin 4 announced, I'm glad he did that after that spiel of a mobile game.
I hope it actually does come out next year and doesn't like, I don't know. Pikmin fans, they've been through a lot. I don't think they should be played any more than they've been.
Right. I need to play Pikmin 3 Deluxe. I played a little bit and had a good time with it for sure.
There was a lot of speculation that what he was talking about was Hey Pikmin, because Hey Pikmin did come out after that. But I think the general consensus is no, it was either a horrible translation error or he was not talking about Hey Pikmin based on the context of like what the interview question was.
No one was hyped for Hey Pikmin. I don't think, like, I'm a 3DS person. Like, I'm really into it. When that game came out, I was like, wait, what? There's a new 3D like Pikmin game that came out. And then the Pikmin people are like, no, dude, just don't. Just don't go for it. So don't even check it out.
It's like a Metroid pinball type of thing.
Yeah, it's not worth your time to go back. But anyways, Pikmin 4 next year.
That's a big deal. That's like a really big deal in the Direct. I think that people are underestimating that.
Yeah, that's going to be big.
Just Dance 2023 is coming out November 22nd. It is not coming to the Wii. We have our life sim game number 4. That doesn't count as a farming sim.
We were to be honest with you, from the previous one, what was the previous one that we had in the Direct? Rune Factory. That's like, okay, there's some farming in there, but definitely life sim. Harvestella is very similar. It's very minimal farming, actually.
So it's not a farming sim. It's a sim with farming.
It's a sim game with farming.
So you wouldn't call Animal Crossing a farming sim, even though there's farming in it?
Barely, yes. I would not call that a farming sim, yeah.
Okay, then it doesn't count. We've had 3 farming sims so far.
Yeah, sure. Sounds good.
Okay. Harvestella had a trailer. A demo came out. Garrett, you played it?
I played it. I went all the way through it so that you don't have to. So I went through, I think it goes through the first 2 chapters of the game. You're just this, it's so generic. Like, every time I play these live sim games, I feel like it's the same thing and I don't get much out of it. So take my advice and opinion with a grain of salt. I think the crafting and farming in this game is fine. You have a day and night cycle. I absolutely hate it in every game, not just this game. I absolutely hate it when there's like a time. Like you have to go back, you have to go to bed, you have to sleep. That's why I can't. I like Stardew Valley. I think it's a great game. I just cannot handle.
It can be stressful, and I feel like that kind of game is not meant to be stressful.
Yeah. But anyways, Harvestella, it has a lot more story to it than the other live sim games. There's definitely like a adventure role-playing game, like kind of brand behind it. So if you're into like character development, going through a story, like going into bosses and dungeon raiding, I think it's a little bit more for you. I just found it to be very not interesting. It actually kind of felt like an AI when it was fed. It's like, here's all the life sim RPG-ish games that has ever happened. Spit one out. This is exactly what this is. There's like, I just feel like there's no, I don't know, like much
is it very generic
novelty. It's very generic. It is
like
so
I feel like it needs like a hook of some kind. Like there's
every time I did something, I was like, that game does it better, or that other game does it better. Like farming, of course, Story of Seasons does it better. Stardew Valley does it better. Crafting, Atelier Ryza does it way better than this. I don't like. Well, it's just generic. It's just you're grabbing materials and getting a blueprint. Dungeon raiding, so many other games do it better. And I think the one bad thing about this game, it is the combat is so it's just so simple. It's one of those like 3D hack and slash games, and then you kind of like you can change classes, and there's like a limit to how much you can change your classes, like mage and like fighting or whatever. But there's no actual like action or reaction to the combat. You can't defend really. I'm sure there's a way to defend later, but they did not show me in that demo. It is very more general MMO-ish, like where that enemy is going to do a major attack on you. You got to like move out of the way. Move out of the map, not like actually defend yourself. There's no reaction or action between two characters. So
That
it's
sounds
just so
boring.
weird.
Yeah.
Gerald and Knight says it. There's no dodge or defend in this game, and it's so weird. Like I had to struggle with the first boss because I couldn't dodge or defend. I had to literally like eat.
You just had to take each hit.
Yeah. The controls are wonky too. You had to like press trigger in certain like times to like switch between certain farming tools, to switch classes. There's just so much going on with the controls. I still wasn't getting used to it by the end of the demo.
That's a shame.
Yeah, I think it's one of those, like, if you're a life sim game, like you're really into Rune Factory, you're really into these type of genre, maybe check the demo out. Just check it out, see if it's to your liking. If it is, great, go for it. If you like character development, like story, check it out. But other than that, it's very generic. Just don't go for it, I think. At least
Good
for
to
the
know.
price. It's just, no, I'm good.
The game comes out on November 4th. If you want to try the demo before then.
And then, of course, the save data transfers over to the full game. So go for it.
They showed a new trailer for Bayonetta 3. I have no recollection of them showing this in the Direct. It comes out October 28th. Okay.
Yeah, it was very short. And then they said, oh, there's a gameplay trailer out in the Nintendo channel if you want to check that out. So there you go. Get excited.
Spike Chunsoft's new game, Rain Code, is coming out spring next year. It's a detective game.
Yeah. So Spike Chunsoft, the people who made Danganronpa, 1, 2, and 3, they're very. I think a lot of people enjoy those games, and you can tell in this game is like the character design and the way that they made this game. Very Spike Chunsoft. So it is a detective game. You're this protagonist that's trying to solve mysteries. What's great about their games, Rebecca, is that you go through each case and it's like you figure out the case, but at the same time, it's like personified, like crazy mini games. You like go through like different bosses or whatever, or like 2 different obstacles, and you like choose a different obstacle to like figure out, okay, which one do you think it is, to deduce your clues or to deduce your like cases or whatever. They do a very good job of like translating detective game work, like really clever detective games, into like actual mini games within it.
I feel like I would like that kind of thing.
Danganronpa, all of them are on Switch now. I think they go on sale quite a bit. I would try the first one. It's more visual novel heavy. There's a lot of dialogue involved, but it is a very special game. It's a very similar vibe to what this game is.
Cool. Resident Evil Village is coming out October 28th via cloud.
Yeah, it is all cloud.
Biohazard, Resident Evil 2, and Resident Evil 3 are also coming out via cloud later this year. There is a free demo for the cloud version of Resident Evil Village. They showed this and I was like, that's definitely cloud.
Yeah, and I actually even further, like I've anecdotally heard this cloud game is crap. It's
don't support it. Go play this anywhere else.
Play this anywhere else. Do not support cloud. This one sucks. Like I heard it's worse than any other cloud-based system. It's
worse than Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, it's like play this game on Stadia. Like don't play this on
Stadia.
No, I'm being serious. Like if it's out on Stadia, don't play it there because it's so bad.
Didn't Stadia shut down?
Stadia did not shut down. It's still alive. They're just not making games.
Are you sure? I
like
think
that.
They shut down.
They did not shut down.
I think you're wrong. I think they shut down.
Oh my gosh, you're looking it up. Wait, are you looking it up?
I'm looking it up.
Oh my gosh, it's not down. It's not taken down yet.
You're right. Yet. I don't think it's gonna last long.
It's not gonna last. Well,
it won't.
It's very minimal now. Google's like, that is minimal operation cost below our line.
It will
and we're
be down
good.
before 2025. Mark my words.
Oh, pretty sure, yeah. Anyways, don't get it.
Don't get it. They had another sizzle reel. Would you be surprised if I told you this will not be the last sizzle reel of the Direct? This is number 3, by the way. There's more sizzle. I'm just saying there are more sizzle reels in this Direct than there are farming games shown in the Direct.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. There are 4 sizzle reels in this Direct. They just wanted to show us so many games.
Sifu is coming out November 8th.
Yeah.
That won some awards, didn't it?
It's a special game. I saw this on Switch. Don't get this on Switch. Like, this looks like a game that should not, like, it looks fine, it looks playable, but it's so fast paced, so reaction heavy. It just doesn't look like it's playing that well on Switch. I'll play it on PlayStation or on PC.
Okay.
I wouldn't play this on Switch. It looks rough. Definitely looks rough.
Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion is coming December 13th.
People are excited for this one, so just had to shout this one out. You know what this is?
No. Oh, prequel to Final Fantasy VII.
Yes, it's a remake of the PSP game, Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core. They updated the textures and everything, but also the battle system. It looks really cool, actually. So check it out on Switch. Looks great.
Radiant Silvergun Shadow dropped, released later that day.
Yeah, this one's like a classic 2D gun game. If you're into that.
Okay. And then Endless Dungeon, which is a roguelite. Wow, I never would have guessed that from the name. Is coming out next year.
Yep. That's pretty much it there.
I don't see enough people talking about this, but the next thing they announced is a remastered version of Tales of Symphonia. What is 30 frames per second mode?
Yeah, so Tales of Symphonia is like another.
This was
Tales
like
game.
A really major GameCube game. One of the only JRPGs on GameCube.
Yes, one of the major JRPG GameCube games. Getting remastered.
Lloyd Irving.
What was that?
The main character, Lloyd Irving.
Oh, I have no idea what the character names are, but sure, yes. The reason why I say 30 FPS mode is because it's funny. Everyone's talking out online. The remastered version, all of it's 30 frames per second. Like PC version, Xbox, like everything it's like locked 30. You cannot go 60.
Is that bad?
The only version that goes 60 is GameCube. The original GameCube Tales of Symphonia game is 60 frames per second.
Okay, I didn't know that.
It's because this version is built off of the PS2 version, I think, or PS3 version, whatever. It's from that line. So they built it off of that and not the source code from GameCube version.
Wow. Interesting.
So, and actually, I saw someone like, hey, I force fed it 60 frames per second on PC because there's Tales of Symphonia original version or whatever on Steam, and it looked freaky. Characters were like buzzing all around, like looking wild. Like, oh yeah, that's why they cannot do 60 frames. Yeah, so it's tied to 30 frames.
Is this remaster multi-platform?
Yes, it's coming out everywhere. Yeah.
Okay. Coming next year, early 2023.
Mm-hmm.
We have our final sizzle reel of the night. Reminder that Life is Strange Arcadia Bay Edition is coming out later this month on September 27th. I'm going to get that. I probably won't replay it. Maybe I will at some point, but I need it for the collection.
Of course.
Romancing Saga Minstrel Song Remastered is coming out December 1st.
Cool. You can continue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lego Brick Tales coming this fall. Disney Speedstorm coming this fall. Fall Guys Season 2 is out now.
Nice. This one did not excite me. The sizzle reel did not excite me.
Yeah, that was kind of an odd sizzle reel to put so close to the end. Our second to last announcement, Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe is coming out early next year on February 24th, the same day as Octopath Traveler and Atelier Ryza.
Yeah. So 3 big games coming out on February 24th.
This is a 2D Kirby game. Is this is a remake?
Yeah, it's like a remastered kind of thing with extra modes and extra mini games, I think.
Imagining?
I have no idea.
Everyone's asking, why is Kirby getting another game? There's 3 games. This is the 30th anniversary of Kirby. They told us in the beginning of the year that there was going to be regular Kirby content throughout the year. So this is the last one.
Interesting. I saw this. I'm like, I don't care much. Like, and I see 2D Kirby games just pop up all the time. It's just like candy or whatever. And she's like, oh, great, another 2D Kirby game. Cool. I'm glad for the people that are into Kirby, but it's probably not for me.
And then finally, what we've all been waiting for, the one last thing. We got our trailer for the sequel to Breath of the Wild. We cannot call it that anymore because it is now titled The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, releasing May 12th of next year.
Looks
Garrett,
fun.
What did you think of this trailer that they showed?
I only saw it twice, by the way, so I didn't dissect everything that's coming out of here like most Zelda fans out there.
What was your first thought when they showed this trailer?
I think you're gonna be so lonely in this game. That's what I thought when I was seeing this. Like, okay, it's so open, so vast. You're just Link, just going through these dungeons, and I was thinking Tears of the Kingdom, where I know it's like, oh, it's going to be sad and emotional, whatever. I also thought like Tears of the Kingdom as Tiers, like a play on of words. Like there's going to be so many tiers of this kingdom that you're going to go through. It looks very vertical. Like it looks so, it's not open. It's up, down.
You do see a point where he's using what looked like a rune to grasp onto a chunk of land that lifted him into the sky.
Yeah. And
of course, him diving, kind of like Skyward Sword, but he doesn't land on a loft wing this time. He lands on a weird slate rock.
Yeah. I think I like the character design of Link. He looks cool. Other than that, not too much more. Looks like you're just going to be pretty lost in this big
game. You remember the trailer before this? The way that we saw Link, he was wearing more of like I don't want to say caveman, but like he was a little bit more exposed in the front. He was wearing like a green kind of toga type thing.
Oh, yeah. No, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he didn't look like that here.
Was it a little different? I just couldn't tell.
It was very different. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So maybe a different, not character per se, but transformation. It may not be the same Link. I don't know. Like, I don't know.
I still have theory that there is some time element here, a past and present type thing. I noticed in this trailer he had kind of like on his satchel, there were like 8 or so little tubes or something, and a few of them were like lit up. So I don't know if that's like collecting tears. Remember in Twilight Princess, so you had to collect the like little teardrop things?
I didn't play that game, but yes.
Oh yeah, you didn't. Okay.
I agree.
I'm wondering if that is going to be similar, if that's going to like be the dungeons or something. I really hope that we get dungeons back. In the very first frame that they showed us, the wall etchings also had, I think it was like 7 or 8 of these little tiers. The tiers. Yes. Yeah, somebody in chat, Briscoe, is saying the 7 tiers. Yes, that's what I was saying. Yes, 7 dungeons. I'm hoping it means dungeons. From the trailers, it kind of looks like shrines are also going to be back, but he clearly was collecting 7 or 8 of something, and they looked like little tiers. It was like tier colored, like a light blue, and I can see that being like, you know how in a lot of Zelda games you get like an element after, or like a medallion after, or something after each dungeon. That's kind of what that feels like.
Interesting. So Steven actually messaged us on our Discord, on Shaq. He had a little bit of a speculation as well. He's really into Zelda. His message says, "I'll add my speculation for a new game mechanic in the trailer. Link is wearing a device on his hip with capsules of green liquid energy.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay. There's 8 slots. In one of the carvings, the strange deity creature is surrounded by 7 teardrop-like symbols representing the 7 sages. This idea is bolstered by the carving of the woman who appears to be being sacrificed on an altar similar to the maidens in Link to the Past. Perhaps there are 7 dungeons, 8 with Hyrule Castle and Zelda, and the 8 capsules correspond to dungeons and sages. It could be that having a sage or completing a dungeon gives you a capsule, or you have to accomplish something on the ground to earn a capsule, which is used to access a dungeon in the sky.
Wow, I have no original thoughts.
Yeah, assuming the capsules are used as a fast travel between ground and sky. Long story short, I'm hoping the different clues we've had to 7 sages implies 7 dungeons.
Who was saying this?
Steven.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't hear the name that you said in the beginning. Yes, that is exactly what I was thinking when I saw it. Wow. Okay.
All right, we're all
because that was like the first thing I noticed as he's running. Like that was first of all, that was the first time that we saw Link's face.
Yes.
I think, like for many of the trailers that we saw.
Yeah, we didn't see his face that much.
I don't think we saw it at
Zelda.
all.
We saw Zelda.
We saw Zelda, yes.
But not Link's face. He has longer ears, by the way. I could tell he's more of an elf than anything else. Like he it looks different than what I've seen before.
I'm gonna have to relook at that. I have a theory. Everyone wants Zelda to be playable. I think she dies in the beginning, or she is presumed dead. Because it was like the first or second trailer, we saw her fall and she's like falling and like reaching out. And then I think the tears of the kingdom are like, oh my God, we lost our princess. Like she's gone.
Interesting. Yeah, I just think of this trailer as like very different than Breath of the Wild, where
it's going to be like, dark and I'm here for it.
I see some darkness, but I also see just like I feel Studio Ghibli. I see like your like which one is it? Like Falling in the Sky or not Castle in the Sky? It's like gosh, I forgot the name. Falling Sky. Something. Anyways, it's one of the older ones that Studio Ghibli had, where you go to a lost castle in the sky itself. It was super cool, and it looked very much like that with this game. It's very ancient, has a lot of architecture involved, a lot of history, and it's so vertical and lost in the sky. I'm actually
Howl's Moving Castle?
Not Howl's Moving Castle. I think it is Castle in the Sky then, because Howl's Moving Castle is the other one.
Okay.
Yes, Castle in the Sky. Such a beautiful movie. Oh man, I love this one so much.
I feel very torn after watching this trailer because on one hand, I am so hungry for more information. I feel like this game is coming out in 6 months or so, and we still barely know anything. We got like the title and the release date and a few little pieces of more things that we can speculate on. This trailer was maybe a minute long, maybe not even.
Yeah, not much.
I want to know more. But on the other hand, and I saw some people in chat talking about this, like I don't need more to be sold on this. I kind of do hope that we don't know a lot going into it because I want to experience it all very fresh. So it is a very conflicting feeling.
Yeah. There's not much off of this. I'm sure they'll not leak, but like present more information before the game's released. I'm sure we'll know a lot more about it.
When do you think we get more information?
Could be Game Awards. We could get another just nebulous trailer, to be quite honest with you. I actually hope we don't get too much. I don't want to like I'm on like the other boat is like I don't want to know much. I'm not a huge Zelda fan. Like I don't get into the lore or whatever. I want to remain pretty like unknown about it. I like what I see because it just seems like a Studio Ghibli movie that's also a dungeon, like go through dungeons and stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'm down for that for sure.
Yep. I agree. So that is the direct. John 32 wants to know what grade we would give the direct and what would it need to include for you to give it an A+.
I'm gonna give it. I was originally gonna give it a B-. Like I thought it was a great direct, but since there's a lack of Sonic like anywhere in this direct, I'm gonna give it a B. Like it's gonna raise up a little bit. Because there's no Sonic at all. I was very pleased with it.
I was like, where is he going with this?
Like I felt free from the chains of the stupid Sonic Frontier hype that's been going all around me. I'm glad. Good. So I had to raise it to a B. Good. It was a great direct.
Oh my god, that is the best.
What about you, Rebecca? What do you think about the direct?
I feel like I liked it more than most people liked it. I would give this direct an A. I would give it an A. And I try to think about this like not just in terms of myself and what I like, but like a good well-rounded mix of things. We got a ton of new great and like a new mainline Fire Emblem, confirmation that Pikmin freaking 4 exists and is coming next year. Like that's huge.
That's huge, yeah.
We got our Breath of the Wild. We didn't get a full-blown trailer for it, but we did get what we wanted. We got another trailer, we got a name, we got a release date. It's not delayed. That's amazing.
That is amazing.
We have another Kirby, dessert for the Kirby fans. Updates on games that we already have. They're continuing to breathe life into Switch Sports, Strikers, Splatoon, all of those, service games now that they have. Updates on trailers for games that we already know are coming out, like Mario Rabbids, Bayonetta, so on and so forth. They're localizing things like Fatal Frame, which is a first-party game. People don't realize that Nintendo owns Fatal Frame. We're getting huge third-party games like It Takes Two. Octopath Traveler 2, I know a lot of people were very big. That's a big sequel. That is a big sequel. Yeah. There were not that many farming games, guys. Relax. That is overblown. It's not even a funny joke. Yeah, I think this was a very good direct. I would give this an A.
Cool. The thing is with directs, I think I just set it such a high bar because they always set it a high bar. I compare it with other directs, whereas like if I compare it to the rest of the industry, what they're doing, this is definitely an A.
Okay, I saw a lot of people, and this is going to start some fights in chat. I just know it.
Okay, start some fights. Go.
First of all, I think this was a Jeff Keighley poll. The first poll was, which are you more excited for, the Nintendo Direct or the Sony State of Play, which was taking place the same day? I want to know why the Sony State of Play was winning the more hyped, considering how awful all of the State of Plays have been. They have been so bad. They've been so bad. And you're telling me that you're more excited for it than the Nintendo Direct? Second of all, then when both of them happened, he tweeted out another poll that was like, which one did you, or no, I'm sorry, it was two different polls. What grade would you give each one? And I think people were saying like a low B, high C for Nintendo Direct, and then like a low A, high B for the Sony State of Play. That was a bad Sony State of Play. I'm really sorry, but the only good redeeming thing out of it was the God of War trailer. Everything else was a giant snooze fest. And like, I don't know. I'm just saying that like they would have been better off just like putting out a trailer for God of War. Like, why did you waste everybody's time with the rest of that? It was 20 minutes long. It was boring. I'm just saying. I'm not saying it was like, yes, I'm saying it was terrible. But my point is that why are you saying that it is better than a Nintendo Direct? I want to know, why are people liking it more?
Yeah, I think it's just the games that people like in general. I think these are more console centric, Sony centric fans
I get
too.
it, and like I know they're
Yeah.
not my type of games, but again, I'm trying to look at it from like an objective standpoint. Like I'm not going to play God of War 2, but I recognize that was an awesome trailer for an awesome game that is people are looking forward to. That was the only good thing from that Direct. State of play.
State of play. I actually don't recall all of the games. In the
Exactly.
state of
Yeah, you
play.
don't, because they were not memorable.
Well, I had to rewatch the Direct too to get all these notes down. So I don't remember too much. I just remember that state of play for me personally. Look, it was a lot stronger than the rest of the state of plays, which were not good. They were not good at all. Like bad. So
the bar is very low.
Yeah, the bar is very low for the state of plays, and that was a strong one. That was more of a B plus, A minus situation with them. Whereas for me, this one, I liked it. I really did. I really liked this Direct. It's just I've seen Fire Emblem. I've seen the leaks. I've seen the character design. I've heard the concept of this game way before.
I know, but you
than
can't take
saying
that into account because leaks are not Nintendo's fault.
I don't care if it's Nintendo's fault or not. It's just the way it was presented to me in the timing of it. Like that's just how I am as a person. Like it's just my opinion when I was seeing that game. I was like, okay, I've seen it. I expected it. And yes, I knew it was coming out like sometime early next year. Great. Let's go to the next one.
That's fair.
I think also even before that leak, I knew there was a new Fire Emblem game coming out. I was like, okay, there's another new Fire Emblem game.
Yeah.
It's due, like it's ready to go. It's very nice to see Gust being associated with it and having
but like you wouldn't say that for the God of War trailer. You knew that God of War was coming out.
I was actually that was one of the lower points for me. I like God of War. It's just that I've seen like when I saw that God of War 2 trailer, it's like, are you gotta be kidding me? You giving me another trailer of this?
Wow,
like,
I saw everyone say that they loved the trailer.
I'm sure they loved it. It's just I didn't want to see it. I'm like, I'm ready. Like I don't need to see this at all.
That's fair.
I know people are into it. I like the other smaller games that were coming out in this Direct as well. There's a lot more content in this one compared to the
Pacific Drive looked cool. That was like the only other thing that like caught my attention. I don't think I would get it, but I liked. They called it a road like. Like a play on words for roguelike, but like road because you're driving. I won't get into it. This is a Nintendo thing, but yeah, I don't know. It just grinds my gears. # Team Gear for the Splatfest, everybody. Yeah, I would give it an A. And to give it an A plus, I would have.
Oh, you have to do a lot of things.
I would have made the Zelda trailer longer.
Oh, really? Yeah. Zelda trailer longer? Really?
Yeah, I just still have so much. Like, I get the teaser trailer. We got the teaser trailer in 2019. Then we got another teaser trailer last year. We got another teaser trailer this year. It's like, okay, we're teased. Where's the info? What am I doing? What is the game about?
Yeah, there's a lot of teasing going on. Actually, I don't know. Maybe that's just how I like being fed this content, at least for the games I know I'm gonna buy and know I'm gonna play. I just want to know what the atmosphere is like and what is the basis of it, especially a Zelda game. I know what I'm getting into. Like I really do.
Me too.
You're a Zelda fan though, so I'm sure. Yes, of course, you want to feed up all that content and kind of figure out what this game is. I understand. Yeah,
it's like very mixed feelings about it.
For me, an A plus would be like give us GBA and Game Boy Color on Nintendo Switch Online. That's a big one. Another one is this. I want this Wind Waker Twilight Princess ports to happen because I've never played them. I want that. I'm sure it'll happen. But yeah, that it was kind of a bummer not seeing this in here. Of course, other people, not Nintendo, telling us is coming out. So I'm
we
not
got our
blaming
hopes up for
Nintendo.
that one.
Yeah, we got our hopes up. I'm not blaming anyone for sure. But yeah, I think it's just those things that would probably bring me up to an A or an A plus.
I think an A plus would have been if they said actually the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom releases next week.
That would have been crazy. Yeah. Oh my gosh, there was so many good games on State of Play. Sorry, I was just looking up an article and just seeing all the games I'm gonna get on PlayStation. Very Japanese for sure.
Just a few very quick news stories, and then we have a butt ton of questions. My God, we've been recording for so long. So I don't know how to say this word. How do you say that word? So what? That's a fake word.
Suikoden. No.
It's like Sudoku.
I think you would like these games, but anyways, keep on going. Suikoden
1 and 2 HD remaster, Gate Rune and Dunen Unification Wars. That's the title?
That's the title. I don't know why.
It's announced for the Switch coming out next year.
Yeah, this was actually announced pretty recently, like early this morning at Tokyo Game Show from Konami. This is one of those games that people are saying that's my number one RPG. Like a lot of people are saying, like I know you say Chrono Trigger. I think a lot of people say Chrono Trigger. It's on the same level for a lot of people. It's like Suikoden is my number one RPG. Okay. Originally came out on PlayStation, I believe. I think it's PlayStation 1 for Suikoden 1 and 2. I'm sure. Gerald Nutt says I played them back on PlayStation 1. So I know people are very excited for these sets of games coming out.
Where was this announced?
Tokyo Game Show. Konami had a stream. And
I heard that stream was bad.
I think this is the best announcement. It's just like, here's Suikoden 1 and 2 HD. Go crazy.
Sega Genesis for the Nintendo Switch Online as Elysia Dragoon, Beyond Oasis, and Earthworm Jim.
Yeah.
Groovy. Mm-hmm. And finally, Splatoon 3 has sold more than 3.45 million units in Japan in its first 3 days. This not only makes it the fastest selling Switch game in Japan, beating Animal Crossing, it also makes it the fastest selling game of all time in Japan. And that's just Japan. Wow. I cannot wait to see sales numbers. This game is huge in Japan. Oh my God. Everyone underestimates this. I have been saying the whole time, do not underestimate Splatoon.
That's pretty big. That is very popular. I understand in Japan though, they really love Splatoon.
They really love Splatoon.
They're in the competition of this for sure.
For everybody who is saying that this game doesn't deserve to exist, we have Splatoon 2. There's not even that many differences. It does not matter. This game, that you're wrong. This game is huge.
It's pretty big in Japan. Like it's the biggest thing coming out. That's very surprising to see. Actually, very surprising to hear that this is the fastest selling within a 3-day time frame. I think it was like first 3 days or a week.
Opening weekend. Yeah.
I
do just want to point out a recent data mine that has come out because they just updated the game for the Splatfest, and a new data mine has come out from Oatmeal Dome, who is very notable and reputable in this the data mining field. He says 3 new possible salmon run modes are coming in a future update. They're called Pair, P-A-I-R, Underground, and Contest. He says Pair and Underground will have their own pay grades and titles. In addition, Underground will have higher quotas, making it harder to pass each wave of the game. And we don't obviously have information on this, but I guess the way it sounds like is with Pair, you would be teaming up just for 2 people in Salmon Run. Maybe it would be different objectives.
Okay.
Who knows what Underground means? and then contest. Well, in Salmon Run, you work together with your teammates. Maybe contest would be working against each other. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they're racking up points against two teams or whatever.
Yeah, maybe. So I like to look at the data mine information for Splatoon 3. There is stuff. There's, in addition to this, there is plenty of stuff that I think they are finding that will be added to the game. So if you do not think there is enough new content at launch, keep your eye on it. It is not like Strikers. It is not like Switch Sports. It is not like Mario Party. This game does get updated with quality content.
Yes. So looking forward to it.
All right. That's the end of our news. We have questions directly from you, Garrett. We have a lot of questions here. We are almost at 2 hours. How do you want to handle this? Do you want to go until the 2 hour mark? Do you want to like lightning round through each one? Do you want to pick the best ones?
Yeah, I'm gonna pick some. I'm just gonna be handpicking off some questions that we would be able to answer probably effectively. Okay. I want first off with Kyle the Pug. He has 2 questions. I think the first one we can knock out. Do you think the pronunciation of the new Zelda title will be like tears, like you are crying, or tears, like you are tearing a piece of paper? I think we both know.
It's tears. They did come out and confirm it afterwards. It was already kind of confirmed by the Japanese title, was implying crying tears because it sounds different. The 2 words sound different to them. So it is tears.
Yeah, I agree. And then question 2 is, will Pokemon Home play a role to adding Gen 1 and Gen 2 Pokemon respectively to both Pokemon stadiums?
No.
I agree. Again, as I said, Pokemon's the way they do Nintendo Switch Online multiplayer, you're not connecting to anything in the online infrastructure, in the UI or other apps or whatever. It's tricking it to be local play in the games.
It would be tricky to do anyway because the data for the Pokemon that Pokemon Stadium can read, you would only be able to transfer the Pokemon that came from Virtual Console from the first 2 games. So that's extremely limited. They're not going to want to bother with it. No, it's not going to happen. You can't do it anyway.
Yarden has the hard-pressing question for us, Rebecca. New hardware in May, then? Question mark. What do you think? Now that Tears of the Kingdom is planning to come out in May, do you think they'll launch it alongside with another console, another Switch?
I think it's possible, but I think if they're going to do it next year, it will be in the second half of the year.
I agree. It's not going to be first half. And when I saw that May date, I'm like, there's going to be an OLED version of that Zelda game.
I think that's a lot more likely. Yeah.
That's a lot more likely now than a new hardware. So that's what I'm thinking now with that game. Yeah. All right, let's see here. Any other? I'm just checking the questions here.
We can hit some of these next week too. You won't be here next week, but
sounds good. Let's go to this last. Yeah, let's go to this last question. I think that's a good one. Okay. Japanese Ninja 88 says, I just really, really want some more Zelda physicals on the Switch. Yeah. I have such crazy nostalgia for the Game Boy Zeldas like Oracle of Ages / Seasons and Minish Cap. Do you think they will ever allow a remaster of these games and give it a similar treatment to Link's Awakening?
I do think down the line they will. I think it maybe is a little bit trickier because those are the Capcom developed titles. So I don't know what the protocol is for that.
Capcom developed.
But they do own the games. They have every right to remaster them. I think we will. I think they will take their sweet time with it because they can. I'm interested in knowing what Grezzo's working on. I think at this stage in the game, it would be developed by Grezzo. It's interesting because those games, now that 3DS and Wii U eShop are closing, will be unattainable.
Interesting. So, Yeah, I would hope these games would be forward into on the Switch in some way. I've never played these games too before, Oracle Seasons or Minish
All of
Cap.
them are very good. I like them all better than Link's Awakening.
Nice. Yeah. So I would be down to see these games. At least have that treatment of Link's Awakening. I don't particularly care for the style of Link's Awakening, the new one on Switch. It's
I do.
too toy
Yeah.
like. It's very toy like oh, I'm gonna play this Toy Story game. That's what I feel like in that
Yeah.
game. Like
I
I
can see
understand
that.
it is a Zelda game and it is Link's Awakening through and through. It's just when I see it, I'm just like, okay, I'm about to build my little wooden block toy and put it in a little playground.
I do really like that style, but I think it works for Link's Awakening, and I get that those games look the same as the Oracle games in the originals, but I don't think story-wise and theme-wise that it would be as effective for those games.
Yep, I agree.
But yes, I agree, Japanese Ninja. I do hope that they do more physical Zelda games also.
That would be cool. They would have to do some kind of treatment or remake in order to do physical. So hopefully that comes out. I mean, there's a lot of Zelda stuff we've been pitching, you know. Of course, the ports are inevitable. And now these ones too that we're thinking about. I hope they come out eventually. It's just, I don't know. They have Tears of the Kingdom now in May.
They won't come out next year.
See, like it's going to be a while now. So,
yeah.
All right.
Sounds all right. Good. I think that's it for the questions. If you wrote in and you didn't hear yours, hopefully we answered at some point during our discussion capacity. Anyway.
Yeah.
Garret, I will miss you while you're away, but I hope you have an awesome time on your trip. You will have to take lots of pictures and tell us all about it. And hopefully you get some good gaming time. Food. Play Majora's Mask on your flights.
If I bring the 3DS, I will go through Majora's Mask. Yes, that
is correct. Good. Yes. We will have to see what he ends up picking. And until then, the show will continue while he's gone with some guests. I will be here. And we will catch up when you get back, Garret.
Yeah.
All right. In that case, that will do it. Koopalings, have a good night.
Bye-bye.